Back in the 80s, half the fun was the unknown. You'd trade a floppy with a buddy at school, or you'd download a game off of BBS, and you just pray it wasn't a text game or chess again. That's the vibe here. I've got one of those mystery discs, no instructions, no internet, just me and the Commodore 64. And this one right here. But I'd be looking at games like Hulk, Pegasus, Stealth, even something called Revelation. Let's just see if this is retro gold or if it just goes straight to that craptacular department. Let's get started. Boom. So let's go ahead and load up Hulk here. And it is a Quest Pro 1 by Scott Adams, their famous adventure games. They'd make text games back in the 80s. Want to restore? No. I'm Bruce Banner, tied hand and foot to a chair and some obvious exits out. I, for the longest time, had no clue what to do because just like back in the 80s, we had no internet. And we couldn't look this up. We did have BBSs and you could call and, and maybe if you got lucky, you could post something on different boards where you could ask in a game on Hulk, how do you get past this? I still remember what to do. And so I know you're supposed to go in here and type bite lip. So when you bite your lip, I know that's what you said. Ouch, I scream and now I'm the Incredible Hulk. But if you didn't know that back in the 80s, I mean, you would have never ever guessed bite lip. At least I wouldn't as a 10-year-old or whatever I was at the time, 13. And for some reason here now I'm 53, I still remember bite lip to make the Incredible Hulk. So we hit return, your rope breaks, you escape, some gas fills the room, and now you're back to Bruce Banner again. So you only got to be the Hulk for a little bit, and immediately the game makes you go back to being Bruce again. What shall I do now? Well, we're going to look, the classic look, to see what's in this area. I see nothing special. I'm in a dome, mirror, there's a broken chair, a gym, metal hand fan, large iron ring set in the floor, a sign, and some obvious exits are east. What should I do now? Well, we've got lots of options, so let's look in the mirror and use one or two words only. What shall I do now? Let's get gym. All right, so now we got the gym. And now there's that metal ring. So let's see if we can pull on metal ring. Won't budge. Well, let's go east. It said that was an obvious way. So now we're in a tunnel going outside. There's a sign, buttons in the wall. Let's read sign. Okay, I see warning, high gravity ahead. What should I do now? So basically, if I go outside, there's high grav ahead, which probably will kill me. But let's push that button because there's buttons on that wall for a reason. So let's push it. Voice says delay on. What shall I do now? Well, if the delay's now on, that maybe we can go out there. So let's keep going east. Now I'm in a field, a large dome. There's a gym. Obvious exits are north, south, east, west. High gravity. I'm crushed. I'm dead. Holy crap. I pushed the button. I thought it's supposed to delay it. Now here I am lying here dead. So anyway, that's the Incredible Hulk by Scott Adams. I actually loved that. That was one of the text games one of my first ones that I ever played. I always liked when they had graphics tied to the text games. But that was the Hulk. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next up is Pegasus. And yeah, they spelled it funny on the title screen. Already off to a generic start. And you get this big wall of mythological text about chaos, darkness, and gods. And I'm thinking, holy Moses, this isn't English class. Let's just play the game. Once it kicks off, it's basically Joust with a flying horse. At first, I'm hammering the button like crazy, wondering why my thumb feels like it's going to fall off. And then I realize, oh, you just hold it down. Thanks for that, Pegasus. But hey, once you get in the rhythm, dive bombing enemies on a flying horse is a good time. The horse doesn't even walk. It just floats like a balloon. But no big whoop. It's fun, frantic, and one of those early C64 clones that actually works. Thumbs up from me. Pegasus may be generic, but it's still a blast. All right, time for Robin Hood, 1984 from Exonix or X whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's shoot some bad guys. Right away, I'm loving the slow motion collapse when you nail an enemy with an arrow. They just tip over like they've been tranquilized. Mercy, that's satisfying. But man, the trees are a pain. Half the time, you can't even see where you're shooting. Robin Hood might be hiding, but apparently so am I. And of course, you run out of arrows constantly. 10 shots, that's it. Then you're sprinting around like an idiot grabbing more. Once you get into the groove though, it's great. Clear a bunch of enemies, cross the bridge, and suddenly it's sword fighting time. The combat's clunky, but when you land a hit, it feels awesome. Then it's back to shooting, this time at castle guards launching fire arrows. Good lord, I swear, I hit some of them. But the game just laughs, takes me out anyway. And here's the kicker. At the end, the game rates me a stable sweeper. Stable sweeper? I stormed the castle, fought off half of Nottingham, and apparently I'm just cleaning horse stalls. Thanks a lot, Robin. Still, I had a blast with this one. It's tough, it's quirky, and it's another C64 classic I definitely remember playing as a kid. Big thumbs up, stable sweeper or not. Next up, Stealth. Broderbund software, these guys were kings back in the day. Print shop, load runner, chop lifter. If you saw that Broderbund logo, you knew you were in for something good. So the idea here is simple. Fly your ship through a hostile landscape, survive long enough to reach the tower in the distance and blow it up. Easy, right? Yeah, no. First problem, joystick port. Good lord, Commodore 64. Why does every game have to use a different port? I must have plugged and unplugged 3 times before this thing started working. And once you finally get going, you realize this game's all about managing your energy. Yellow pads recharge you, red pads zap you, and of course, the bad guys always park themselves right on top of the yellow ones ready to blast you. That's just cruel. And mercy, my reflexes aren't what they used to be. I keep running out of energy before I get close to the tower. Not very stealthy when you're blasting everything on the screen like a maniac. Still, I love it. This is one of the games I played constantly as a kid. It was everywhere. You saw it in magazines. Everybody was talking about it. And here I am, 40 years later, still trying to reach that stupid tower. Next up, Revelation. Another day, another Joust clone. Apparently this Floppy was Joust or bust. Pegasus and Revelation on here. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'll take all the flappy chaos I can get. This one cranks things up. You're blasting bats, bugs, and these towers that suddenly flip into devil symbols after you destroy them. Pretty heavy metal for 1984. Prepare to meet thy doom, the game warns me. And doom shows up fast, usually as a giant bug smacking me into next week in about every 30 seconds. The action's quick and brutal, but I kind of love that. It's one of those games where you don't even have time to think. Just flap, shoot, explode, repeat. None of that memorizing 50 keyboard commands junk. The sound effects, they're chaos. Every flap, every hit, every explosion just layers into this crunchy arcade mess. It's like the SID chip is having a nervous breakdown, and I mean that in the best way. So yeah, Revelation's not original, but it's fun, frantic, and surprisingly addictive. I give it a thumbs up because sometimes mindless chaos on a floppy is exactly what you want. So that's it. That is all the games that were on this floppy. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to know now down in the comments, please let me know which of these games you played, which ones you've never heard of before. All these are old classics. You need to go check these out. I'll share the D64 files out there on my website, floppydeepdive.com. You can go out there and get that so you can play these yourself. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, thank you for joining me on another Floppy Deep Dive. Boom.